know how, we do love the beagles and feel that experimenting on beagles is really rather medieval in these modern times. Well, that's why we're jumping on Zoom now to speak to the amazing singer-songwriter Collette Cooper, who is supporting the beagles. I'm Anna Webb. Welcome to A Dog's Life. Hey, Collette Cooper, welcome back to A Dog's Life.
Anna Webb, I always love coming on your show because you are brilliant.
Oh, stop
And
it.
I'm a massive fan of the podcast. It's brilliant. You're full of knowledge. If I need to know anything about dogs, especially my dog, I always go, Anna Webb. I need to call her.
Oh,
It's
well,
the truth.
oh, thanks. Well, hopefully, yes, we've gotten through a few, because that's the thing with your own dog. Sometimes, I'm speaking for myself here, right? You panic. You're like, oh
Oh, totally.
no,
I
and
do.
then you need someone from the outside to go, actually, look, A, B, and C,
Yeah.
don't worry. Don't phone the vet immediately. This is going to be fine. And on all of these occasions, that's been the case.
Oh, you're brilliant. You're brilliant. It's like you always calm me down. I'm like, oh, Anna, Billy's a bit constipated today. You're like,
Yeah.
calm down. Oh, Anna, he's shaking his ear a little bit. What could it be? Because he has been shaking his ear a little bit, but he's fine now.
Well, talking about shaking the ear, I do actually, and it will be a blatant plug, but it's a plug that all our listeners, please listen to. In fact, I did a podcast with the amazing Joe Flanagan, who has brought product over from Germany, which is all probiotic based. I mean, Collette, you will love this stuff. I actually clean my flat with probiotics, like proper cleaning product, so I'm just getting probiotics and throwing them around my flat.
Brilliant.
No, it really is. And apart from cleaning my flat so much better than any, I've always used the plant-based cleaners.
Me too. Always plant-based.
Always.
Cruelty-free, everything. You just
I know, but they still leave,
everything.
they can still leave this residue. This has no residue.
Oh, that's good.
No, it's really lovely. Anyway, they also make ear cleaner, and I use their dental spray on Mr. Binks every single day.
What's the company called?
It's called Ingenious Probiotics.
Ingenious Probiotics. And I can use that to clean Billy's ears.
Well, they do an ear care one, so don't use the floor
cleaner. No. Ingenious. I'm just writing this down. Ingenious.
Probiotics.
Yeah. And they can take them orally as well?
Well, you spray the dental spray. It's all a spray.
Okay,
so it's
brilliant.
Super fine liquid, because sometimes with ear cleaner, it can be a bit thick.
Yeah.
They tend to be thinner now than they used to. But these thick globules, that you sort of squirt down an ear, it can block the ear canal.
Yeah. Finer the better then, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it just so penetrates through.
And where would I buy this from? Online? Just go to
ingenioussprobiotics.com.
Brilliant. Okay, I'm on to that.
Okay, I think you'll be chuffed, actually. So I've squirted Binks's teeth this morning before we did Sky News.
Oh, brilliant. And I always give Billy a little bit of coconut oil as well and rub it on his gums, which is brilliant. So that draws out any infections and it's antibacterial as well. It's really good.
No, it's brilliant. It's a medium chain fatty acid.
I use it as well,
Oh, it's good for the brain as well. Actually, coconut oil is really known to help cognitive function because it's a medium chain fatty acid. Yeah, yes. Well, it's been proved to work on rats.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
So it works on humans too.
Okay, that's good. I have a lot of coconut oil, but Billy, I always give him a little teaspoonful, don't I, Billy? Yes.
It also, funnily enough, it does the buttery version, or you could use the oil just on cotton wool. Rub his teeth.
Well, no, that's what I do. That's why I give him mine. I put it on my finger and I rub his gums with it.
But do the actual teeth as well? Because it
cleans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course it does.
It does. No, it's funny. At an awards once, I said to a fellow dog trainer who was at that awards, I went, gosh, I said, I won't mention his name. Your teeth are looking amazing. They're so white, I said,
Yeah.
And he said, oh, I know, I gargle coconut oil. I went, you do what?
Yeah, well, I do. It's called coconut pulling. Or oil pulling, it's called. And I put it a teaspoon in the morning, at night, really about maybe 10 to 20 minutes sometimes. And it's called oil pulling. And you basically keep just swishing it around your mouth, spit it out, rinse it with salt water, then brush your teeth. It's brilliant. It's really good.
Salt water is still always my go-to for
Yeah.
cut paws, insect bites,
Yeah.
all of that, as it really, really, really is just, you know, such a wonderful natural remedy that,
Yes.
you know, is also, you know, cheap, putting it,
Yeah, and it
you know,
works, and they don't mind it. Billy doesn't mind it if he's got a little insect bite or anything, or in the summer he's got a mosquito bite. I just put a little bit of, warm salt water on, and sometimes I just put a little tiny bit of coconut oil around it as well because it's antibacterial. I don't know if that's the right thing.
you know, listen, all these things work. And
Yeah,
I think, you know, you've got to remember, like we've been talking about, you know, this week from the study that the Royal Veterinary College has released, you know,
yeah.
about pandemic behaviors in
I
dogs.
know.
I
Well, I
know.
saw you on BBC London, and I thought you were brilliant. And they were saying, tell me more about that because they were saying people are using like really disciplined sort of they're
Mm.
disciplining the dogs in a way it's not right, and they're not reacting well to it. Is that right?
Yeah, well, you know, in the olden days, that's right. I mean, in the olden days, you know,
Yeah.
people thought, you know, you'd be strict with your dog and, you know, the dog would obey you and so on. And that method really has been proved to be completely wrong by science. But I was horrified, I'll be honest, when I read the stats because they were
Yeah.
only released on Monday. You know,
So
it's
what are they
really
doing
new.
exactly, these
Well,
owners?
80% of the owners that they'd followed over some time. So these are
Yeah.
first-time dog owners that got their dog in the pandemic.
Right.
80% of them are using what's known as aversive training methods. So
Right.
aversive, you know, it can range from shouting at your
Oh
dog
no.
to, you know, kicking your dog, you know, to
No,
pushing.
stop.
Yeah, I know.
Is
Yeah,
that what
yeah.
they're saying? You should allow, yeah, it's fine to kick your dog. It's
No,
fine
no,
to put,
no, they're not saying that. No, Colette,
oh,
this is research. And what's
right.
being revealed is that actually this is what people are doing, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So to train a dog to stop pulling on the lead, which is one of the key behaviors, because all these dogs have behavior problems. So
Mm,
it's research to understand, you know, how this has happened, you see, because obviously, you know, for both humans and dogs, the pandemic was a big difference in our
mm,
lives, to say the least. So, of course, it's impacted on humans
mm,
and it has also impacted on all dogs, even if they were socially sound before the pandemic, the change of routine and lifestyle certainly affected both my dogs. For a while, they were like, "Why are you here all the time? Can't you go
yeah.
out? We're bored of you now. You're normally out for some of the day. Go away. We need to
Oh.
be alone." You know,
But
so
that upsets me a lot. I mean, I witnessed a woman on the heath. She had a young Doberman, and she was just horrific to her dog. I had to intervene. I was so upset and angry. I can't bear it.
no, it's
Like,
wrong. But the thing
smacked it
is,
across the face. Had a muzzle on, smacked it across the face. It was a young Doberman as well,
mm,
shouting at it. I had to intervene. I just literally went crazy.
well, no, good for you. You know, that's important. But yes, so the worrying trend is
Mm,
that people are doing things like this to their dogs. So this is why this study is being discussed to
horrendous,
highlight
horrendous.
actually, look, come on, you know, because the problem is why it doesn't work is that because actually in the short, quick fix, it does work. But what it doesn't do is help build your relationship. And having, you know, helped lots of people with their dogs, you know, obviously, this is what I see as well. People don't have a relationship with their dog that's built on communication and trust. And that's what dog training allows you to do. But I think so many people are afraid of dog training because they think boot camp. But
Mm,
actually, you see, it's fun and it's your tool to communicate with your dog because
yeah.
you can't talk to your dog because they don't understand anything you say.
I
But
disagree.
uh,
Billy understands several words. I can say
oh,
to
these
Billy,
understand words
yeah, I can
and
say to Billy,
phrases.
show me your teeth, and he will show me his teeth.
You've trained
He,
that. That's the trick.
well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I consciously haven't gone out to train him. I've just said, show me your teeth, and I've shown him my teeth, and he's just shown me his teeth back.
And
You
then
know,
you've rewarded it with
um,
praise and fun
probably.
and good. Show me your teeth.
Yeah,
That's
because I
dog
like to look
training.
at his teeth to make sure that his teeth are
Exactly.
good.
No, it's
But
a great thing.
I mean, Billy is so clever. I mean, I've had grown up with dogs, periodically in my life. But Billy, if I speak to Mike, say 10 o'clock in the morning, and I say, I've got to be careful what I say actually now because he's listening to me. If I say,
Mike is the
no, I'm talking
producer.
about Billy's listening to me. And basically, Matt
Collette.
is as well. And Billy, basically, if I say to Mike at 10 a.m., right, we are going to go to the PUB. I have to spell it out because he knows what it is. And we're going to go there at 5 p.m. and we're going to have a SAUSAGES as a treat for Billy. And we're going to just do a nice thing. Billy will at 5 to 5 be running down the hallway, barking, running to the door, waiting, waiting, and waiting. He knows. And then when we go out, his direction is pulling towards that location where what we were talking about. He is so smart, Anna. I've never known anything like it. He knows exactly what I'm saying to him.
But you see, I would say he's communicating with you far more on intention,
Yeah,
going back to episode 1 of A Dog's Life with, someone I admire very, very much for,
yeah.
his scientific evidence on telepathy and the fact that dogs
Absolutely. The
know. It's a
telepathy. Absolutely.
that's
We've definitely got telepathy.
I would
100%.
say that's, because people, will say dogs will know
Yeah,
when it is 4 o'clock, which means the time we're going for our dog walk.
yeah,
In Lassie Come Home, even, which was fictional, but,
yeah,
on factual stories of dogs doing uncanny things like returning home from being lost or
yeah.
knowing when their owner may have broken their leg on a ski slope,
Yes.
all of having
Oh
knowing
no,
when
I
there's
totally believe it. It's definitely telepathy. He knows when I'm thinking. He just knows what I'm thinking. I mean, if I'm feeling a bit sad, if I'm feeling happy, he's so in tune with me.
mm,
And I'm so in tune with him. We communicate. There's one thing we communicate so well. He's just incredible.
oh, I know. Oh,
I've
he is a
never known, and
lovely.
he's just beautiful, and he's so smart, and he's so kind. He's kind to other dogs, and if I say to him when we're on the heath, go make friends, he'll run up to strangers and he'll drop his ball for them, and always great with kids. He's just a very, very, very kind dog. And like you say about scientists, they have discovered, haven't they, that they've got a mind of a 4 or 5 year old. Some of them, there's
Oh gosh,
specific
I'd say
dogs.
it's much more than that.
Well, there
I
you
mean,
go. Brilliant. I want to know more because I know the poodle family are extremely intelligent dogs. I know Billy's breed, a terrier, they're very intelligent dogs, and there are probably some dogs that maybe don't have the same brain capacity, just like humans.
I disagree
Um,
on that completely. I must say, Colette, look, hang on.
yeah.
Dogs are way more intelligent, than most humans, quite honestly,
Oh,
because
that's true.
they haven't. Well,
Some humans I know.
yeah, they haven't lost that uncanny ability
Yeah.
to read us. We did a brilliant job at domesticating the dog.
Yes.
We're top class. For example, okay, dogs at birth understand what pointing means, but a chimpanzee doesn't.
Wow.
So I know that was a study out of Hungary, I don't know, about 2010.
Wow.
It was around that time that in America, they had trained dogs to go into an MRI scanner, totally awake and be comfortable with doing it. It took ages to train this team of dogs to do it. But their objective with it, of course, was to study the dog's brain
Yeah.
and see reactions to different stimuli in the brain.
Yeah.
And from that, obviously, evidence has concurred that there is an area of the brain in dogs that is love. Because some people might say, well, dogs are only about their food.
No, that's right. They do feel love. Yeah, they
Mm,
definitely do feel love, and they love. And I mean, they're just a bundle of love. I mean, dogs are just a bundle of love. And going on to dogs being a bundle of love, MBR Acres, we've got to talk about that.
I know. Yes. Look, the
Oh
beagles.
God,
Oh,
I mean, I
I know. I
campaign along
can't.
with
I
them, and
know you do. And
you
it's so,
do, and
well, I do a little bit. We've done 2
we can do as
podcasts
much as we
about it.
can.
Yeah, we could do as much as we can,
Yeah, it's so
you
frustrating, Anna. I mean, what does it take?
know,
The petition's now in Parliament. It's being discussed, I think, on the 19th of February, which is great. I'm not sure I thought we had gathered enough signatures. And what was great and how they got those figures, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the actor Tom Hardy's got a few million followers on his Instagram, and he posted every single day I think
Wow.
for like a month, every single day, he posted to get these signatures up. And I thought that was amazing of Tom
That's
Hardy.
amazing. I
I mean,
know
I
Will
posted, but I
Young.
don't have millions of followers. I might have a few, but not as many as him. You know, as long as we keep posting and keep being aware.
Mm,
And
mm,
I mean,
mm.
it's just ridiculous that it's even happening. It's sickening. It's sickening. It needs to be,
But explain. So, in case listeners, aren't aware of the Beagle
Oh, yeah.
situation.
So it's basically it's an organization, it's an American organization where they breed beautiful beagles just to test on them. And it's just absolutely barbaric, and how they test, it's cruel, it's evil. And once they're done with them, they kill them. And there's organizations, you know, like Free the Beagles. There's many organizations that have gone in and, you know, they've rescued some beagles, but because it's legal, you know, and it's against the law, they're getting arrested for doing so. And we've gone to, you know, we've gone on marches outside Parliament all last year, and you know, tried to raise as much awareness and get as many signatures as possible. And now finally it's in Parliament up for discussion and to be thrown out, surely, on the 19th of February. I mean, thrown out as in close MBR Acres. You know, that has to be closed. MBR Acres has to be closed. There's no other option.
I agree. I agree. I can't bear it. I
It's
mean,
so evil.
I know. I
So
mean, I
evil.
remember.
And that's why it's so important that people don't realize that they have to be so mindful and conscious now. They just start at home by buying cruelty-free products. Everything from your hair, you know this, makeup, hair, you know, your liquid, your dishwashing liquids, just everything. Just try and get cruelty-free products. If you start at home, then there won't be any need to be tested on
Mm,
any animals, you know.
absolutely. But yeah, it's sort
There's
of
lots of
the
great brands out there,
no,
you
of
know,
course there's brands, but
that
it's
we can.
also, but the problem is it's pharmaceuticals, you
It
see, are
is
tested on these dogs. I won't name the
exactly.
brands and everything, but it's like
Yep.
headache pills. Okay. So,
Yep.
so things like that.
Well,
That's also
exactly.
the area.
It is, yeah, and that's really actually that's a really good thing to bring up. Like me personally, I just try and do everything naturally, or just do everything I can that doesn't involve animals. But you know, I'm not gonna lie, I've taken a few Nurofen, but as you know, Nurofen is so bad for animals; it kills them. So
It's awful. I mean, it's so not fair. And I remember years ago they were testing cigarette smoke on the beagles.
oh,
They were,
so it's just
it,
it makes me want to vomit. My
you know,
blood is boiling. My blood is boiling, and I believe Will Young is fronting the campaign on the
yeah.
19th of February. So that is great. Um,
No, it's
but
brilliant. Actually, he came on the radio, Barking at the Moon,
amazing.
and mentioned that. Absolutely. It is about raising awareness. It's really not fair.
But it's not rocket science, is it? I mean, it's just so barbaric. Just close the place down. Innocent breed innocent, beautiful animals to test for human consumption. It's just disgusting. I mean, animals are just beautiful. And again, going back to human consumption,
Mm,
South Korea finally,
finally,
finally, but we still got 3 years. They finally banned the dog trade, meat trade out there, but there's still 3 years to go. So
I
there's
know.
there's amazing organizations that are still going out there rescuing dogs constantly, finding homes, and that's another thing. That's 3 years is a long time. That's a lot of hundreds of thousands of breeds, you know, being born and been breeding still for the dog meat trade until it's completely banned. It's going to be banned, but it's got 3 years to go, which I don't understand either. Why can't that be imminent? You know?
Well, I think I read around it. I mean, it's because it's been there for so long. So you've got farmers, like we have farmers here, reliant on their farming industry for
Yeah.
their livelihood. So, you've got to look at this also a bit culturally. In India, love, I've been there 3 times, love, you can't eat a cow.
Well, I
So,
wouldn't eat a cow. I wouldn't eat any animals.
no, I know,
That's my
but
point. You know, I mean, dogs, cows, rabbits, they're all the same. They all have souls. I just don't agree with anyone eating any animals. But for dogs, I think, like you say, going back to we've domesticated them, they do feel love. They're intelligent like pigs. You know, they're really, really intelligent. It just seems so bizarre to eat a dog, I guess, in someone's eyes over a cow.
well, the funny
But
thing
it's not
is,
really.
Now listen, talking to me, it's totally wrong. But interestingly, it's not illegal to eat your dog in the UK.
I've heard, Mike told me, but that must have been a law from the 14th century that just hasn't changed. Just like if the Queen or the King were to say, off with their heads, it's still actually a printed law that you could go and chop someone's head off. I think it's an old law that just hasn't been changed, which it does need to be changed because
Well, I don't know,
it's
Colette.
just ridiculous. I mean, it
Well,
wouldn't be
it's ridiculous.
acceptable.
No, but apparently in Canada,
Yeah.
it's not illegal there either, and you can eat your own dog.
But I don't think anybody does. I think these are just really
No, of
old
course not.
laws.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, sure, but
But if you did, then you go, well, it's okay, it's legal. If
so
you got stuck on a snowy mountain in Canada and you're there for 6 months, what do you get? I wouldn't, but there might be some people who go, okay, I'm gonna have to kill my dog and eat it. It's just disgusting. It's just got to change.
I
But that
know.
needs to be brought up. I don't think many people know that.
No, I don't either. I mean, it sort of came up in our podcast last week. Just we're having a spontaneous chat
Mm,
about lots of things that's happened this year. I mean, it's been
yeah.
a very, but look, so this week we've got the Royal Vet College and really raising awareness on the fact that harsh training methods seem to have crept back into the world of dogs, which is
Wow.
wrong. Last
You were
week,
great on that yesterday.
Oh, thanks. I
Mm.
did Sky News this morning,
No,
actually. And then there's the pet abduction. Of course, that's now going to become a specific crime, which is great
Oh
news.
God, of course. I heard that the other day as well, and that's absolutely great news because
Mm,
so it should. I mean,
absolutely.
that's Billy's my child.
Mm,
That would be like stealing my child away, and
mm.
it should be. They're part of the family. Abduction. I mean, who would have thought of it? Who would think that would be okay to do that anyway? Why now? In only 2024, is is now illegal? Well, 2024, this should have been illegal, forever.
Absolutely. But it's interesting. Some people are sort of saying, well, it shouldn't be called abduction because you abduct a child, and
Oh,
you
oh God.
steal a bike. But you see, that's the problem.
Yeah,
Until dogs chattel status in a court of law is removed and
yeah,
dogs are officially in a court of law considered a sentient being, which I
yeah.
don't think has quite happened yet, then I believe total change will never happen.
I think that will happen soon. Now something like, that law's been passed. There's so many laws now that are being,
Mm.
passed. And I think I definitely think that that'll be the next thing.
I think the
We're
word
such a
you
nation of dog lovers, a world of dog lovers, even in most parts of the world anyway.
Yeah,
So
and using the word abduction for this rather than calling it dog theft. It's called dog abduction. I think that just the terminology of that is very significant.
I
But
agree.
yeah, and then there's been this groovy campaign that I'm involved with. I'm very proud to be involved with it
Mm.
actually, called Can the Kibble,
Right.
which gave me personally great joy shouting that outside Parliament.
Oh, brilliant. Ban
Yeah,
kibble.
just
Yeah.
last week, actually, Can the Kibble, so great name for a campaign,
Yeah, it's
play
brilliant. I
on
need to get on that.
words, very clever.
Because people
Love,
just
love.
don't know that people just don't know the harm that kibble does to dogs, do they? They really just don't know the harm.
Well, you are what you eat. And we know what we
Absolutely.
do know is that overly processed food really doesn't do yourself any favors. We've got to have
Exactly.
our 5 a day, let's
Yeah.
watch what we eat, stay healthy. And the same is true in our dogs. And it's just making that bridge, I think, that connection from A to B that somehow is being blocked and it needs to be unblocked, really.
Yeah.
So, so it's positive. I feel this January has been positive, and I'm
Yeah.
so pleased that the beagles are being heard in Parliament, and
Yes.
hats off to everyone, and just everyone's got to keep
About
signing the
time.
petition. So the
Absolutely.
petition link's going to be in the show notes.
Great. Oh, that's brilliant. And what about all the puppy farming as well that they're doing,
Well, I mean,
which
I'm
is
helping on that.
horrendous. It's
Hurrah.
horrendous as well.
It's
Just
dreadful.
it's
Well,
just it's almost like I would put it up there with bloody human trafficking as far as I'm concerned. It's just disgusting.
it's so funny you say this. It's
It's
so fun.
so,
But
but
no,
I
no,
do. It's like, why is that okay for people to just breed and breed all these? puppies just to make money out of them, and they're not going to good homes, and they can't get rid of them, and they're not looked after. It's just absolutely disgusting. I saw you probably read the article about all those a puppy breeder had hired a Airbnb for a few days, and they had all these puppies in there, and there was mess all over the place because they're just not looking after these poor puppies. Did you read about that?
I saw that. It was in Scotland, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
And it's just absolutely disgraceful. I think they can just think of doing that just to make money. It's
No,
just, again,
it's really awful, but there is something going on. So again, another little plug
yeah,
is for Dog Advocacy Ireland, which I've been involved with. It's actually really gaining traction, helping to lobby the heart of government in Ireland, which is different to ours, the way it's structured, but to really highlight the fact of these, because they're licensed. That's what's ridiculous. These huge, massive breeding, industrial, awful places are legal.
it's
Okay, they're
disgusting.
given licenses. So, there's a lot of sort of skullduggery going on, shall we say, and this will make you pass out.
Oh
So
God,
basic
don't. Oh,
well,
go
no,
on.
no, no, listen, no. So basically, the puppy farm industry in Ireland earns Ireland 200 million euro in tax money a year. So, see, now the
Yeah.
problem is, smuggling dogs into this country is illegal, and that's got to be the next big stopping thing
Mm.
happening, because you see, now that nobody buys a dog properly anymore and everyone buys them off the internet, it's like a huge shop window for these people that are very clever, and they smuggle these poor puppies in a terrible state, and it's all wrong. But of course, then they end up being sold on the internet to people who don't realize they're buying a puppy that's not in the best condition and probably isn't going to be as easy to train as a puppy that's been reared really, really well
Well,
with,
it's trauma. They've gone through trauma.
well, they've
That's
gone through,
a,
living in terrible conditions.
yeah. It's traumatic for them. It's just disgusting. I don't know. I just feel like, I just feel so helpless, sometimes when uh, it's just, and also, I even feel on my day to day, living with Billy, on the heath, when you see some dog walkers who have got 20 dogs, and, for some reason on the heath, they haven't passed the license yet where you can only walk 4 dogs. I know most of the royal parks, you can only have 4 dogs at a time, but on the heath, that was supposed to come in a couple of years ago, and it hasn't. And you get some dog walkers with so many dogs. One, it's not good for the dogs. They're all on leads, and they're not getting the proper run they need. And two, it can be dangerous, and it's just cruel. They're not getting that proper attention they need as well.
Exactly. It's something I said today. Everybody has to give their dog proactive time every
Yeah.
day.
But I don't
Um,
know, as an owner, you would allow your dog to go with a dog walker who already has got 10 dogs. There's just no way on earth I'd allow my Billy to go with a dog walker who does that. I don't even allow Billy to go with a dog walker, full stop. But, I just think it's ridiculous. It really is frustrating, and they don't have full control. There's no way they would have full control. The amount of dogs I've known over the last few years that have gone missing whilst being with a dog walker and have not
mm,
come back, they've either, died, or they've just run, whatever sadly has happened to them, has been in the care of a dog walker, because they cannot look after all those dogs. There's just no way.
I know, no,
The
it's
amount of
struggle.
times I hear dog walkers whistling and shouting at dogs, have you seen a dog look like this? Have you seen a dog like this? And it's like, well, you've got 10 of the dogs. Of course you're not going to be able to look after every single one of those dogs. But I blame the owners,
Well,
you
you've got to
know.
put it into context as well. I mean, until 2005, there were no dog walkers.
Yes.
And then this whole trend came over from the States. Then it was small scale, because dog ownership was way, way, way less then. Yeah, it's just grown and grown and grown. It's an unregulated sector, and there's huge problems with it. But the public space protection orders that are coming in March, hopefully is going to really help, because then it will be, I don't know if you can say the word illegal, but you will be fined if everywhere. Certainly it's coming into Hackney,
Well,
4 dogs only, 4
yeah,
dogs.
because I
It will
know,
be coming to Hampstead. It will, because there's been too many complaints.
yeah, no, it is regulated on some of the royal parks and like Regent's Park. There's a few parks where they can only walk 4
But
dogs.
this is new. It's coming in March.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I know that's been regulated for quite a few years because the constabulary on the Heath, Hampstead Heath, have been saying, oh, yeah, it's supposed to come in this November. They said that a few years ago. Oh, no, now it's supposed to be coming through in January. But it's definitely regulated on some of the royal parks where they can only walk 4 dogs at a time. And also, I think the old, a dog license, we should have licenses to own animals. We should have a license,
I totally agree.
you know.
But it's got to be not like the old dog license, which I don't think did very much or had no real sort of purpose.
Yeah.
But it's got to be, I think, really expensive. And I looked into Switzerland at one point to see what
Yeah.
they do, and they have dog licenses, but don't pass out. It's 1,500 Swiss francs a
Well,
year.
but you know what? Then that's okay. That's quite a lot. And if you couldn't afford that, if somebody who loves their dogs and looks after their dogs, and the dogs are everything, then that could be impossible for someone who doesn't earn that kind of money. So they have to look at it. Have to be tailored or something. I don't know, but
No, no.
I think it should be. Shouldn't be about money. It should be about, like, when you adopt a child, you go through all these regulations and background checks, and when you adopt a child, then it should be like that with animals, I think.
Well, it should be. So I think the key in the first instance, I don't know how people say to me, it can't happen, Anna. And I think, no, you never say the word can't. My dad taught me that.
My dad did. There's no such word as can't. I agree.
Yeah.
My dad said that to me.
It's just stop live creatures being sold on the internet. It's too easy to buy a dog. Stop that. You'll reduce the amount of dogs that are being bought and then abandoned,
Yeah.
and dogs being bought that are puppy farm dogs, because I speak generally, but most of them are puppy farm dogs that you buy on the internet, because any dog breeder, of which there are many good ones, would never put their dogs for sale on the internet.
No.
You have a waiting list. I mean, in the olden days, you waited 2 years to get your perfect puppy, but
Yeah.
we're so used to, it's partly society, we're so used to just tapping our phone and
Yeah.
getting what we want.
Absolutely.
Well, in the
You're
world
absolutely
I
right.
grew up in, you had to earn what you wanted, do washing up in a restaurant, to buy your nice boots that you
Oh
wanted.
God, don't
You know?
start me on that. That's a whole new subject. I totally agree. I've had this conversation so many times. Growing up, you had to earn it. You had to do those things to get what you want. Now, there's a whole different breed of people. So
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for coming on, and
I love
remember,
coming on your show.
free
I
the
love coming on.
beagles, free the
Free the
beagles.
beagles, Anna. Come on, we've got to free the beagles,
Yeah,
and we should
Prudence has
go.
got a bit excited here when I
Yeah,
did
and we
that.
should go on a march together soon. But I love coming on your show. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you.
And
No, cheers,
I
Collette,
think
for
you're
coming on.
amazing. I think you're amazing. I love watching you on TV, on the morning shows in London, BBC London, and talking about how to help dogs. It just makes my heart warm. I love you to bits. Thanks, Anna.
Oh, thank you, Collette. Well, thank you, and speak again soon. Take
Definitely.
care.
We love you.
That's our show, Mr. Binks. What did you think? Yes, I can understand why you're glad you're not a beagle. And you're right, it is time for Woof of the Week. The campaign to free the beagles is due to take place in Parliament on the 19th of February. Please sign and share the petition. Well, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, go on, rate and review the show wherever you tune into your podcasts. It really makes a difference, and it's great to get your feedback. And thanks again, of course, to Collette Cooper for joining us today. And all the links, including the link to the petition to sign to save the beagles, is, of course, in the show notes. Thanks, of course, to Mike Hansen, my producer, for all the music and production as ever. Find out more about him at Pod People UK. Find out a bit more about me and for some of the packages that I can offer, whether it's nutrition or behavior or a combination of integrated therapies, check out my website and follow me on @AnnaWebbDogs. What's that, Mr. Binks? Yes, you're right. We will be back in your feed next Sunday. So why don't you subscribe now? It's free, and that way you'll never miss another show. Bye for now.
Pod people.